I just stuck a bull. This bull has been sounding gnarly, nasty. On my right, there's two bulls fighting. I can see them going, their bodies moving back and forth between the trees. And then all of a sudden I hear this. There's another bull right there. Walking through his aspens.
I shot him. Did you hear that?
No. We both just shot the same bull.
I shot him first.
He shot him first. Oh my gosh. What a heck of a pursuit, dude. All freaking day.
When your buddy calls you, says you got a buck down. And what does he got? A buck down.
Look what I found.
What a sweet coos, man. Opening day, heck yeah. Way to go, Steve.
Arizona Archery Club is a premier partner with Bowhunting AZ. When it comes to attention to detail and a fiery passion, Arizona Archery Club brings it all to the table. With all the latest bows and archery equipment, you can demo every single model in person free of charge in their multiple demo rooms. Walk through the process with an experienced bow tech and see which bow is right for you without the sales pressure. Their indoor archery range offers air-conditioned lanes where you can shoot out to 40 yards. Take this awesome opportunity to hone in your accuracy and technique. When you visit, be sure to mention that you're a listener to the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Let's all support local. National Automotive Repair is a locally owned and operated auto repair shop in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. Jake McLaughlin and his team operate their business with a foundation of honesty, quality, and integrity. From routine oil changes to larger mechanical repairs, National Automotive can solve your issues and have you back in operation. The shop is located right off of I-17 and Thunderbird off Sweetwater Avenue, or call Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 at 602-978-3278. Real estate agents, are you looking to make your listing stand out? Arizona Listing Media has been transforming real estate listings since 2013 with their 5-star Google-rated services. Arizona Listing Media offers stunning photography, captivating drone footage, immersive 3D tours, and engaging video reels to showcase your properties at their very best. Are you ready to elevate your marketing game? Visit ArizonaListingMedia.com and book your session today. Let's make your next listing unforgettable. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bowhunting AZ podcast. We are back for part 2 of Arizona OTC Archery Deer season. Part 2 here is going to be called From Hunt to Harvest. And I'm Steven. This is
Jake.
My boy Jake. Sorry.
We're just going to drop this
My
for
bad.
a second. You know what I'm saying? We're going to drop it. You know what I mean?
Let's go. Dun, dun.
Boom, 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 boom.
Pour me some purple top. Yo.
Yeah.
There we go.
Heck yeah. I like these sound effects, bro.
Got a little bit.
Yeah, we got a little IG live going.
Yep. Got a little IG live going on there. What's up, everybody? This is a Willet 10-year, 132.4 proof. Oh, this one didn't have a name on it, did it? On the back there?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. What was the other one I had called?
Mash Billionaire.
Mash Billionaire.
I remember because that was so bomb, so fire.
That was great.
Well, anyways, we got Steven over here. Whoa, what the heck was
It was
that?
rolling the cork.
I thought it was like somebody's phone going off. I was like, what? What the heck?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got part 2, man. We're gonna keep diving in. If you didn't catch the first episode, Steven's over on IG Live. If you didn't catch the first episode, we talked about OTC rut hunting. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
And so we talked a little bit about tactics, different tactics we've learned, scenarios that we've ended up having and evolved from, how it just makes you a better hunter. Mm-hmm. I learned that I don't like rut hunting. I like pre-rut hunting. But no, there's just some good topics we had. So we're going to kind of dive a little bit further into this, though.
Yeah.
A little bit more technical stuff. We'll go into about gear, different processes that we've had of, recovery and shot process, all that. So it's going to be good, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, let's do a cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting a little hair in your peaches, bro. I just said it. You know what I mean? nah, bro. Nah. It's
There
you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hair on the peaches.
Yeah.
Hey.
That thing goes on for a minute, bro.
It does. I think it goes until you stop it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I guess let's dive right into this thing, man.
Okay.
I mean, pretty much let's talk about it, the importance of trying to hit that sweet spot or trying to, maybe you're aiming for the lung, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if it's a full frontal shot, just trying to make sure you got pinpoint accuracy.
Yep.
And sometimes that's tough because out here, you might not be able to get 25, 30-yard shot. You might have to do a 65, 75-yard shot. So it's a little rough, bro. So trying to get, a little bit more range time, right?
Yeah.
And building up confidence. But some of these scenarios, man, they're not always great,
Right.
So what's some of the challenges that you've had with trying to get a great shot, like a good shot placement?
Oh, man. I think we kind of covered a little bit, and I can't remember part 1 or part 2 of the Africa episode, but I was talking about how I realized I was pulling my string off my cam a little bit. And
Yeah, so if you didn't listen to that, you should have, Brad. Okay.
So that was some spite in there.
But he's gonna talk about it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just realized that I was... Sorry, I'm messing with the IG Live here. This is kind of fun, man. We got like 3 shows going in one.
Yeah, you did.
Paper Tuner, happy Saturday. What's up, brother? Thanks for watching. Yeah, I just had realized that I was pulling that. I mean, it was the grip, I guess. It's more my grip. But basically the string was, the way I was holding my bow, the string was pulling off the cam and it was causing my arrow to strafe, 6 inches to the left or the right or whatever.
Right. And it gets worse, obviously, the further out the shot is.
Yes. Yeah. Further out. Yep. Especially if, we're guys that are comfortable shooting 50, 60 yards, and that arrow's going to move a lot by the time it reaches its destination. So that was something I really focused on overcoming and definitely ran through my mind this OTC season.
Yeah.
Particularly at one moment. But.
So, I don't know. What's a good way of checking that? Obviously having somebody behind you. Maybe record yourself when you're shooting.
Yep.
Or you go over to the Arizona Archery Club, bro.
Right.
And you get that special service.
That's
you
right.
get that Eddie service, or you get that Russ service, or you get the Ben service, whatever.
That's right.
All them cool cats over there at Arizona Archery Club.
Heck yeah.
But dude, they're always so insightful, help you with everything.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't be afraid to pull one of them aside if they're not too busy, but say,
Right.
hey man, can you watch me shoot like 2 or 3 arrows real quick and let me know what I'm screwing up? Because all those guys that shoot at the club are very, very good shooters. So they'll let you know if they see something that, and it always helps to have an objective eye too, right?
Right, exactly.
You might,
especially when they're, shooting bows every day. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Get a little professional help,
Yes, sir.
But
got to work out those kinks.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it just sometimes it depends, like you're saying. So like your grip, torque, torque in the string.
Yep.
If you haven't been shooting for a while and you start getting arm fatigue, start getting weak shots. So you start dropping, you start dropping your shot. So just practice, know.
Yeah.
Dang, dude, going back for a second.
This stuff's good, man.
But all this stuff is a challenge.
Right.
We've always said this before. Practice like real life scenarios. Not just like standing perfectly,
Right.
trying to shoot a target that's broadside every time. Try and do some different angles.
Well, pause right there, man. Hike to hunts. It's today's what, June 1st, actually. Hike to hunts in July. So
There you go.
for those of you guys that really want to hone in very realistic scenarios and not so much focused necessarily on like a scoring competitive 3D
Yeah.
shoot. I mean, you still can absolutely do it competitive, but I would say hike to hunt is more focused on the hunter and shot scenarios and doing some more technical shots, you know,
Overhangs.
quartered away, quartered hard, overhangs, threading the needle, you know, shooting weird, sitting. They had a blind out there, I think.
They had a blind, yeah. I still remember it. Do they still do the pack out?
Oh, I don't know. We should.
Awesome.
I honestly want to get Jay back because I would love to see, you know, ask him
the growth.
What's the growth? What's changed? What are you doing different? You know, all this stuff. So that'd be fun. We should try and get him
on, man.
Yeah. But that's a good activity that everybody should try and go do. I know I'm for sure going to try and make it out there this year because we keep saying it and we missed it last year. I know. But I'm
going to try and get it.
This is the 1 year that I actually can make it out to hike to hunt. So I'm like, let's go.
No, it's a super awesome situation. I mean, pretty much every year it always rains.
Yes.
Like it is what it is, man. It usually always rains up there.
Yep.
I remember the last time I went up there, it was a mud bog in the parking lot. But yeah, it gives you real life scenarios because sometimes you're shooting in the rain, man.
For sure.
So, you know, adapting to that, kneeling down on a lot of shots, you know, overhang trees where you got to kind of just hit it right in that pocket or know that your arrow is going to arc and hit that tree and whack it, you know, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of different situations. So
heck yeah.
Let's see here. What about, so we got a thing about experiences and observations of shooting optimal shooting distances. So I remember you were big on trying to do like the paper plate thing, right? Where you would be like, all right, 3-shot group in a paper plate.
Yeah. So Jake's talking about your max effective yardage, basically figuring out what your max effective yardage is, and that's take a dinner plate or a paper plate.
Yeah, don't take your glassware.
yeah, don't do that. You'll get in trouble with the missus. You won't be hunting that season.
Or if you're single, dude, just do what you do.
Well, then, hey, you do you, boo. Yeah, go to Goodwill and buy some plates and shoot them up.
You and me, we'll cheers, bro.
Take a paper plate, put it on a target, and shoot 3 arrows. You only get 3 arrows. You start at 20, shoot all 3, and they're in that paper plate. You back up to 30. You put that paper plate out there. You shoot all 3 again. If they're all within the paper plate, you back up to 40, and you do the same thing again. 3 arrows at 40. If they're all in there, you back out to 50. The moment one of those arrows strays outside of that paper plate, that is your effective yardage right there, and you're done.
Right.
So if you're starting to wander outside of the paper plate at a certain yardage, then you shouldn't be shooting that yardage. You should be able to effectively place all 3 arrows in that plate size target at that yardage.
So I'm gonna throw a banger on you now, dude.
Okay.
I would say if you're at the point where you're not hitting your 3 all on the target, then that's what you should be practicing from that range up.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So from there, you know, if, let's say 60 is where you're like, oh shoot, all right, that's where we start getting a little wanky. You know what I mean? I would start practicing from 60 on up to even 100.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what they say, right? They say shoot 100 because then 60 seems like it's easy.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing, you know? And
it does. It truly does. I remember I would go out to Ben Avery's. I haven't been out there in a while, but I would always try and shoot the 100. And I remember Will Hunter, AZ or whatever on Instagram.
Yeah.
Cool dude, man. But he was crazy. He would wear flannel long sleeve shirts and jeans in like midsummer, dude. Yeah, I was like, what?
He's trying to get that detox sauna going on there, huh?
Every time. It's like it was always that. All but right. Anyways, he would always be out there shooting the 100 with me, you know. And but the cool thing about it though is like I've never tried to shoot at 100 on a deer or on any animal. I did try to shoot a yote. I think it was like 80 something yards.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
Uh-huh.
I was on top of like a ridge trying to shoot it, and it was walking too. But no, I mean that's not to say like go and practice, 100 yards or 120 yard plus, because I remember I ended up shooting that one target at Ben Avery. It was like 114 yards. Remember, and smoked it.
Oh, you smoked that thing like
We
pinwheeled it.
smoked it.
Yeah.
But that's not to say I'm going to go and shoot a deer at 114
But that's in a,
yards.
that's in a
dude.
controlled scenario.
Yeah.
That's when, you know, you're not the adrenaline dump of an actual animal in front of you is not hitting.
Right. You're not risking that animal to be, injured.
wounded. Yeah.
Right.
I would say if you really wanted to try and create a scenario like that, do 25 push-ups as fast as you can, then stand up and try and shoot that. And
Right.
get your heart rate way elevated, get
Right.
your muscles a little fatigued, because that's how basically kind of comparable to the same thing of getting like a massive adrenaline dump. And you probably just did some sort of, ruck to try and get to that
Right.
animal. So to show up and then just try and take a shot as if you're completely calm and like no issues, that's not really realistic.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And to be,
I was like, like, holy cow, I shot this thing and pinwheeled it,
Yeah, I mean,
that was accomplished.
I'm not
but-
detracting from your shot.
No,
whatever.
no.
Like you smoked
You're
that
saying
thing.
the right thing though. Like it's like, yeah, I'm getting to the point where I was like, yeah, I was like super accomplished and I felt confident, but there's no way I was that confident to try and do that in the field. You know what I mean?
Oh, Mr. Will said, sorry, I was making food, had y'all in my ear. Jake and I would always shoot out to 100.
And did you always wear long sleeve flannels and jeans, bro? You always did.
For the podcasters, we are doing an IG live at the same time during this recorded episode, so
But
I can hear your paper fluttering. By the way,
oh
too,
man,
just so you
dude,
know.
I'm
Sorry.
always fidgeting. But
Just set it on here.
all right, you know what I mean? Whatever, dog. There was a scenario where I think we both ended up getting kind of a play on this buck, but we ended up having this situation where we knew these deer were going to come up a side of a hill and kind of walk a gauntlet.
Yeah.
So I ended up kind of hanging out, and it was to where it was starting to get a little dark, but
Yep.
the doe started coming up, and then all of a sudden I seen this buck, and I was like, all right, it's going to happen, Then he started skirting off to the other side of this little ridge. I was like, dang it. But that's where you were. But I was like, I'm not going to let him get a shot. I don't want to get a shot, So I was like, you know what? I range it. It was like 106. And I was like, all right. And then so I was like trying to move in a little closer. And then it just like kind of pretty much stayed at like 100, 103.
Yeah.
And I ended up finally like stood up and just drew back my bow.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then I was like, no, I'm not. And I let back down because I just didn't feel confident. And like I was just saying, I ended up shooting 100 plus yards, over at Ben Avery.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt confident before, but just when there's a situation where like when you have a live animal and it comes down to trying to make a perfectly executed shot at 100 yards plus, that's a risk, man.
Yeah.
Risk I wasn't willing to take. So.
Mr. Will said, I haven't worn anything but for 15 plus years.
I told you, dude. I told you.
That's cool, man.
That's insane, dude. It's like 100 degrees out there and he's over there wearing a flannel. I was like, what? Ridiculous. No wonder he's skinny. But
How's that Willet treating you?
it's good. Getting a little warm in here, dude.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah.
I'm doing the IG live, otherwise I'd turn my air down for you. But
But no, I mean, that's like we're just talking about. So finding optimal shooting distances,
right, knowing your limits, right?
knowing your limits, yeah. And then like you were just saying, so some of the ways you could do that is getting one of those paper plates, or if you want to use, glassware, that's cool, whatever. But getting a paper plate and finding your good optimal range,
Your maximum
effective range.
maximum yardage. Yeah.
But yeah, what that comes down to next is how you like that 365 target.
I love those things, man.
Talk about it a little bit. Let's see what you got.
I like it because one, it's got that. So overall, the surface area of it is massive, right? It's comparable. Well, not as big, but it's darn near close to the size of the targets at the archery range, at the indoor ranges, right? Like it's bigger. Okay, let's just leave it at that.
It's not
bigger.
that big, bro, but it's bigger. Yes,
Whatever.
It's bigger than the block. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's vastly bigger. It's like
Yeah.
5 or 6 block targets, right?
Yes.
Depending on what size you buy too, because there are different sizes.
Yeah, we both bought kind of the bigger one.
The bigger one, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got the big buffer, which is nice. However, the main part that you're shooting at also has an insert that once you shoot it out, you can pull it out and replace it, which is nice. And it's that insert is a little bit smaller than the block target.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you can swap it out. And I think
it has 4 sides too.
I'll say it's multi-sided, right?
Yeah, it's
with
4 sides.
different colored white dot. It's black with
It's
the
yellow.
white. Oh, is it?
It's yellow with black dots.
You're right. The buffer area is black, and then
Yeah.
the target is yellow with the white dots. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it has like the dominoes, kind of like the block does too.
Man, I just squirreled really hard, but I want to drop this in here because I think it might be important.
Yo, drop it, dog.
Sorry. I'm also contemplating changing out the diameter of my farther out yardage pins. So
Okay, so going to like a point.
a smaller. Yeah. I have no idea. I can't remember what the sizes are off the top of my
like
head.
a 0.19 and a 0.10 or something like that.
Yeah, sure, dude. I just know that you can get smaller ones.
Everybody's going to correct me.
I just know that you can get smaller ones, and I want to get some smaller ones because I have found that at further out yardages, that some of that sight map or the sight for my targets, that'll cover up a good portion of a deer at that further out yardage.
Yeah,
and
so
so I want something smaller to
That's
where
not
I can,
uncommon, man. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
They put the smaller pins for the shots.
Yep, I want it.
Yeah, see, Will said 0.10. See, I was close. I think I did say 0.10.
I will not take a shot at an animal in that range. What is, Mr. Will, what is your maximum yardage that you feel comfortable? I'm probably like 65.
Ooh.
I'll take it like 63 because I've shot a lot of animals at 63.
I would say I'm going to send it at 75, bro.
Hey.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm gonna send it, dog.
didn't I shoot
so
that
he used
one?
72.
I think I shot that one coos at 71.
Yeah, he said 70.
70, yep. Yeah, now, after this last season, granted, I haven't been practicing right now as much as I definitely should be, but if I'm practiced up, I feel pretty good at 70.
Yeah.
But I want to be shooting 80s and 90s, though.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm going to shoot 70, I want to be shooting 80, 90s consecutively. Because that's, again, that goes back to the maximum yardage.
Right.
If I can place 3 arrows in an 80, then I'm fine shooting 70. But if I'm putting 2 of 3 arrows in the 80, then my maximum yardage is 70. So
let's go back to this 365 target because that thing's freaking sick.
sorry
dude.
to squirrel. Go grab one at Arizona Archery Club. Talk to
Yeah.
Eddie. Tell him Bowhunting AZ
Talk
sent
to
you.
any of them. Any of them. They're all sick. They're all gangsters.
They're all
you know
good
what I mean?
guys, yeah.
But no, I think, and we talked about this before too. One of the huge benefits of having a bigger target, especially like 365, is you could stretch that target out a little further when trying to practice with broadheads. Because that block target gets a little small sometimes, man. You start throwing that thing out to 70 yards with broadheads and everything on it, and it's like, oh,
You're skipping arrows.
Yeah, because you're aiming right at the ground.
Well,
so
again,
it's like,
that just goes to that buffer that's on there, right? So you feel more comfortable sending that stuff, and it's a broadhead target also, which is nice. So
Right.
I would say it is just a 365 was like, hey, let's take the block target and just put a buffer around it and you make it better. You know,
I like it.
with an insert that you can change out. So it sold me on that, especially when I was like, I want to shoot farther.
Yeah, because out here we kind of have to, man.
You really do. Yeah.
We're not like Missouri or back over in Iowa where you're sitting there and 30-yard shots. You know,
I went on a deep dive the other night. I was up late and the kids were all passed out on the couch, and I was like, when I have those quiet times, I'll just watch hunting videos. You know.
Yeah.
And I was dying laughing.
Is he down?
Yeah, is he down? Is he down? I was watching. I think it was Heartland Bowhunter. They're a good channel I like to watch, and they're all kind of back east whitetail guys.
Bowtech, son.
Slow tech.
Yeah, whatever.
And he was like, oh, there's a buck. He's coming in. He's a big old 8-point. Oh man, he's the guy I've been wanting. He's one of my target bucks. And he's like, but it's 40 yards and that's really far. And I was like, what?
Right.
Like 40 yards is a chip shot here. And I say that now, but hold on till the rest of this episode.
Yeah. Wait till he says some things later on where 40 yards is actually is a swing and a miss. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, generally speaking, in the West, here in Arizona, you know, Colorado, Utah, like 40 yards is a chip shot. Like that's real close. If you're doing good, if you have that kind of.
Yeah, what I would say on average out here in the West is probably somewhere around 50, 50, 60. something like that. So just being comfortable with bow. I mean, that's why I went with Bowtech, but I was huge on Matthews, and I still am.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome. They're great bows. But, dude, that Bowtech's something else, man. The comfortability and being able to just draw that back on an instant is so nice, dude.
I liked it. I think I need to shoot it a few more times because I shot it for a bit in there in Texas. I sent 5 or 6 arrows through it. But
I remember all the guides there, too. Like, what? Dang, this is insane.
Yeah.
They were like, what? This is drawn back like smooth butter, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It does. The draw cycle is very, very easy. It makes a 70-pound feel like nothing.
But then then me and Jake, his name was Jake too, right? Or Jacob?
My guide?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob Little.
So then we were all like, all right, well, let's stretch these out. And I didn't have my slider tape yet or nothing. I was just guessing, remember? And I was like, well, let's go to 90, dude. So we got a 90.
Was that the target that was in the tree?
Yeah. It was
we had this like legless 3D silhouette deer in this stuck up in these tree branches. And we're like pegging this thing.
Yeah, it was funny. But we had it just stuffed up in this tree. It was funny. But no, so they were shooting it at 90, and I was like, there's this big tree that overhangs,
Yeah.
And I was like, my bow's not going to be able to shoot under it. And they're like, no, it'll do it. I was like, all right, dude, I'll try it. I'm like, I'll shoot it.
I'm just used to the Matthews, man.
I remember Coop behind me was like,
I think it was me. Didn't I push you? I was like, oh no, dude, you're good. You're good.
No, I remember somebody behind me. I shot it and it felt so good. Like if the shot felt perfect.
So I was like,
and I could see it like going, and then
I was like your 10. I think it was your 10 o'clock or something. And I saw you shoot. I heard, and I was like, oh, dude, that looks money. Like everything looks so good. I just saw that branch going, nope. And your arrow like freaking shattered.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was sitting there telling you like, no, you're fine. Yeah. Like I was dead nuts assuring you that you were okay. Yeah. And I was like, huh. I was like, well, I guess not.
Yeah, I knew it too, but I was like, I was going to show you guys wrong. I was like, all right, well, I'll just waste an arrow real quick, but because I knew it, but I was like, all right, well, screw it. Let's just do it.
Eddie, can we get this guy an arrow on me, please? I owe him one.
But
actually, here, you can take one of those. We shoot the same arrow.
Yeah. But no, I remember looking back at Cuba. I was like, dude, that was so totally going to freaking be a bullseye.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah, dude, that looks so money until it didn't.
That's what they always say.
So then I
money till it did.
So then I was like, all right, let's go over here and let's shoot it. So then we moved over a little bit out of the tree and we ended up drilling it. It was fun. That was a good time. But no, I guess that goes back to again just knowing your arc on your arrow, man.
Absolutely.
Just getting experience with the bow and knowing knowing where things are gonna go. So
yeah. Yeah.
Another thing in here we got is you kind of did a sober October.
I did.
And then you ended up doing some other fitness stuff in between, but in the long run, obviously it benefited, you know. But what did you see the most out of that?
Big thing for me was cardio. During that whole thing, I wanted to consistently run 2 miles a day. It was like something I had promised myself that I would do. And I know that doesn't sound very far, but let me tease that up with like, I don't run ever.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Like I'll crush 10, 13 miles in the mountains, no problem. But I'm just not a runner.
Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah. I just wanted to do it just to prove that I could and like kind of, I don't know, just kind of squash my inner bitch, to be honest. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Just a personal thing that you wanted to achieve, right?
Suck it up, dude. Get over it. And you know, mental toughness, I think, is a very underrated thing. And I wanted to tap into that a little bit and kind of fight some of my inner demons. So I started running. So when I run the 2 miles, I have to not sprint, but I definitely have to go hard. That's something that's in my head. I had a time of what I wanted to run.
Like a little DJ Khaled, go hard.
Yeah. All I do is win.
No, I was like, go hard.
Okay.
Some people will get it. Some people won't. You know, whatever.
And so I had to give it a good effort and not run at a slow pace. And then on top of that, I could not stop at all during that 2 miles.
Okay.
No slowing down, no resting, no putting my hands on my hips or my head and taking a breather. Just constantly running the entire 2 miles. So I did that for Sober October. And I feel like I did really well, man.
I remember you were on a spree there for a while.
Yeah.
And then that was when you ended up switching and finally getting like good shoes, but
yeah, so that was a big thing. The first week that I did it, I really screwed my feet up. I actually had
I remember you were telling me that.
Oh, I had bruising on and I don't bruise. I'm a guy that like I can get hit pretty hard by something and I don't have bruising on my skin or nothing. And so for me to have bruising on the bottom and sides of my feet was really weird. And it turns out that Under Armour shoes are crap. Don't buy them. And
yeah, come on, Cam. What were you thinking when you had Under Armour, bro? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's got to do what he's got to do to grow his brand.
No, I'm just giving him crap.
They're let me stipulate, they're okay, but the shoes that I had were 6 months to a year old.
Okay.
And Under Armour's okay. Like I said, they're okay.
Right.
They're at like out of 10, they're at like a 5 category for quality, Just for runners, guys that are avidly running. And I went to a local shoe store. I don't know if they're pro hunting or not, but shout out to Tortoise and Hare. They're at 75th and Bell. Go there. They do a 3D foot scan and then they do a gait analysis too.
Okay.
And so they go and they scan the contact points of your feet and they tell you kind of how your body mechanics work. And then they suggest brands of shoes that are top of the line running shoes off that.
So it's like a tailored thing.
Oh yeah. So like Hoka, Brooks, top of the line, New Balance. Like we hear a New Balance and I think old man shoes.
Like old guys, yeah, but like dude, Skechers type thing, yeah.
The running like shoes that New Balance is putting out are killer.
Okay.
So I ended up buying a pair of Brooks and New Balance.
No Hokas, dude?
No Hokas. I haven't worn any.
Those look sick too. I like the design.
I've heard a lot of people say that Hokas are really good. I am kind of interested too in the Speedlands that Cam Haynes is currently using right now. Because I met a guy that...
It looks like a huge wide toe box.
Very wide toe, which is why I went with New Balance.
Okay.
The New Balance shoes that I picked, they're not in here. They're out in my kitchen. But the New Balance that I picked have a very wide toe box. And so I went with Brooks because Brooks made me feel like I was walking on clouds.
Okay.
It felt so comfortable to my feet. Yeah. And to this day, it's my favorite shoe to wear, but it's also my favorite shoe to run in.
Okay.
But since I'm on my feet all day for work, I choose to wear them for work and not to run.
Yeah, because it's so comfy.
Yeah. So the New Balance, though, has a very, very wide toe box and also a wide like footprint on the bottom.
Okay.
So I told the shop, because they asked my opinion on them, and I said, if I'm running trails or doing some sort of thing where I need a little bit more side-to-side agility with my foot, I'm wearing the New Balance. So today I went and hiked 5 miles. I wore my New Balance.
Okay.
I didn't want to wear anything else. I didn't wear a hiking boot or nothing. So I wore New Balance for that. But if I'm running like on the sidewalk and I'm doing 2 miles on somewhat
just flat regular gravel,
or something paved or whatever, I'm wearing those New Balance because they're awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, I did that. I felt like that made a really big difference. Obviously being sober, having no alcohol for 30 days or 31 days was a big thing too.
Notice energy?
Man, I got to be honest. I don't. I don't. So I'll hear certain people say like, "Oh, I'm exercising more. I have more energy," or this or that. Or
well, I'm talking about alcohol, like being sober. Did you notice more energy?
No.
Okay.
I don't. My energy level's always kind of the same. Really,
you are weird.
Unless I do something. I mean, obviously, those are. If I have a night where I, have 4 to 5 drinks and I'm hanging out with the buddies at a barbecue, well, then obviously the next day I'm going to be lacking a little bit. But like generally speaking, like if I have a couple beers, 2 beers on an evening or something, I don't notice an energy difference the next day versus sober October. I don't think so, but yeah, I don't know. It was just more for a mental thing and clarity and detox and take care of my body and let it sort itself out for a little bit. I know you've said you've felt pretty substantial energy benefits from it because you did 75 hard.
I did, yeah. To me, I felt a lot more energy.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I just felt a lot more energy. It was insane. And then you just, like you end up feeling more clear and clarity, I guess, if that makes sense, you know?
I agree on that for sure. Clarity for sure.
Yeah, you just, I don't know how else to explain that, man. Other than, you just more clarity. It just feels more true, you know, which is weird. But, and I'm not talking about when you're drinking. I'm talking about like just in general, like the next day or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Just more drive, more energy. But then that might have also just been the challenge itself too.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, that might have been more to it, but yeah. Sober October, running 2 miles. Was that 2 miles a day for that whole month?
I don't think I did on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
And I won't say every Saturday or Sunday because I'm pretty sure I did on some Saturdays.
Okay.
Sundays, I'm 99% sure I probably took most Sundays off.
So obviously beneficial. Obviously you're getting some cardio in.
Yep.
You know, to me, no drinking. So for me, you're getting more energy.
Yeah.
But you might not think that. But you're getting more energy. Your mind's more clear.
Yeah.
You're more focused.
Cold plunge.
It helps with your everyday life. You know, with work, with probably family. I'm sure. I'm sure they probably appreciated it too as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you just feel more present. You know. But we're not here to talk about life-wise. We're talking about hunting. What did you end up getting out of that? What did you notice?
Yeah. So the big thing was I had teased it and talked about it in episode 1, but like no knee pain. I just had no knee pain this entire hunting season, and I was crushing it.
You've never had an issue really with kind of like cardio-wise either, too. You've always been pretty good at like pushing yourself and being able to. That's never really been your hindrance. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, I don't think so. If I did, it was mental.
Okay.
And for sure, though, like the last couple seasons, the knee pain thing slowed me down because I had a knee given out.
I got a question then.
Okay.
Did you find yourself? I remember every time we'd come back after a day of hunting, you'd be down a whole 3 liters of water.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that helped? Are you still drinking as much water or no?
Oh, yeah. I always...
You still drinking the same?
Yeah. So this water bottle here, this is a 40 ouncer. I at least drink 3, if not 4 of these every day. No, that's never changed. I drink a ton of water.
Okay. So that didn't change?
No. Yeah.
I was wondering maybe the running and all that stuff, maybe it might have changed with your intake of hydration.
Yeah, I might drink more for sure, just because I'm more thirsty. I'm sweating and stuff like that. But like my standard of trying to drink a gallon a day has never changed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 126 ounces in a gallon, and so that's 3 of those would be 120 ounces. So I'm just about there. Plus whatever other liquids I drink. You know, I drink coffee and stuff like that. So.
I drink a lot of water. My biggest thing though is when I was hiking and hunting, I would always find myself not drinking enough water. And I remember coming back to the truck and my pack was almost still like halfway. I'm like,
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, that's a hindrance of mine. I drink my Camelback too fast. And then I'm like, crap, I'm already like, it's only 2 p.m. and my Camelback's almost gone. What am I going to do for water the rest of the day?
So fast forward now, after 75 hard, like I just went mountain biking today.
Yep.
We did, was it like 10 and a half miles or whatever?
Yep.
We came back. I lifted my pack off and I was like, this thing's like empty.
Yeah.
Like, so, and it was completely full. It was 3 liters, but
yeah.
So like definitely find myself drinking more water because during that 75 hard, you have to drink at least a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
So I've been getting more accustomed to staying hydrated.
It might just be conditioning your body to drinking that much too. Cause I remember when I remember exactly where I was in my life where I decided to start drinking about a gallon a day. And I remember how hard it was at first. And it's not something that you're really normally used to, you know? And so I think kind of conditioning your body to kind of alter and change and crave that much water, it might just be a thing. I don't know.
It helps with your metabolism.
For sure.
And then it helps with cleansing your body, man. So it's just all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So don't be drinking.
Cheers. I don't know about that. I still gotta live my life, buddy.
No drinking.
I like to
You
walk.
better run 2 miles a day.
I like to walk a balance of. I'm here to have fun, but also take care of myself at the same time.
You know what? Honestly, dude, like the last time we did a podcast was when I had a sip, and I haven't had a drink since then.
Yeah.
I've just not had a craving. I just haven't had that ever will or want to have a drink, really.
Just
you know
more,
what I mean?
just more social.
It's just been like, okay, these,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to have a couple drinks here and there, whatever. Yeah. But like, I've never, like before, it was like, oh man, you know, tough day. I want to go home and grab a drink.
Well,
now it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't ever had that will or want to anymore, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I've got like all these like really good bottles at home that are sitting on the shelf.
well, that's like I was talking to you. I said I think part of it was just kind of a phase, and not
Yeah.
you know, just in the sense of like we kind of decided to dive, and I haven't
super heavy.
I haven't
like
released the Bucks and Bourbon episode. I'm going to. I just need to get to editing it because it's a long one. But we just decided to go down the rabbit hole of collecting rare bourbon and getting into that game. And can you find this? And can you get the Pappy? And you know all this and blah blah blah. And I think it was just a phase, really. But I'm sure that I'll still forever have like a bottle of Stag Junior in my closet. But
Yeah.
you know, definitely not partaking as much as I used to.
Right.
For sure.
We're not going out and like, oh, they got this here. You want to buy it? No.
Seeking it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know, but yeah, Sober October, fitness. I mean,
Sober October will be a tradition for sure.
okay,
I'm
wow.
down every Sober October.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
Well, I'll probably still.
Sign me up.
I'll probably be there with you. I'm just not saying it.
Not running.
But no, I do exercise still. I've been biking like crazy.
So you're crushing it on the mountain bike side of things, right?
Yeah. I like it because it's
I've
not
yet
as
to go
hard
out-
on your knees, and it's still like a super good cardio. Works the crap out of your legs.
See, that's what's weird for me is people always tell me like, "Oh, isn't running hard on your knees?" And because I ran, I had no knee pain, so I don't know what to say to that.
I don't know about that. I've always still thought running is like super hard on your knees, but like if you think about it with bikes,
I don't know, man.
like bike or swimming would be awesome too.
Well, yeah, that's low impact, right?
But biking is really low impact, man. I mean, because it's always you're not like abruptly stopping your legs like when you are when running.
Unless you're Jake and you spill it.
What do you mean?
Because you crashed the other day.
Oh, no, I didn't hit my legs. I hit my arm. And, dude, when things get loose, you got to let it hang, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You got to hit the loose dirt, bro. Nah, it's so fun, man. It's such a blast, dude. I really dove into mountain biking, and I've always wanted to, man. But
you dove.
literally. But
I want to go with you guys. I haven't gone yet.
It's a freaking blast, man. It's fun because you get a little bit of that adrenaline too when you're like start going downhill, and it's kind of like that adrenaline rush that you seek out for.
Where I grew up, BMX was like super popular,
Yeah.
and that was the thing we all did growing up. So I mean, just changing the bike really is all you're doing.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like it's almost to me, it's kind of like skateboarding. Like people were big into skateboards, going to the park, doing kick flips, doing all that.
Oh yeah.
And I used to always rather do downhill, like longboards.
Longboards, yeah.
Yeah. So it's completely different. Like it's you're going for the speed and the adrenaline of downhill.
Sure.
Versus trying to do the techie little things like that. So it's fun, man. It's a blast.
Mountain biking is the longboarding of
skateboarding. Mountain biking is like the longboarding of skateboards compared to BMX.
Yep.
There you go. Yep.
We got somebody somewhere yelling at us.
No, these guys are crazy.
You got it all wrong.
Oh man. Anyways, no, we should get you out mountain biking. It's fun.
I'm down. Sign me up. Put me in, coach.
Let's do it next weekend.
So yeah, man, we've got we've got segment 7 right here, but then it jumps into final takeaway. We haven't even told the story yet of.
Dude, let's just do it.
You want to jump into that?
Let's just jump,
All
bro.
right. Because then
might as well jump.
Let's go harvest. We'll go equipment and then sign off.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. Where was it? You didn't have it in here, dude.
No, my bad.
Yeah, we just swinging and banging, dude.
Nope.
What are you
There
doing?
it is.
Oh my god.
I'm backwards. You're on the board. I'm on the
cow,
other side
man.
of the board here.
Nah, dude, you got to do that.
Oh,
You know what I
DJ,
mean? We got to get these people hyped up, yo.
DJ Spin Laden.
Hey, do you guys want to hear it? You guys want to hear it? Then we going in. We going in. We going to talk about
You
it.
used to have to download an app for that sound.
So, some new gear, man.
Nope. Harvest first.
All right, well, we'll go to harvest. All right. Well, I'll let you take that.
Okay. Yeah. So, Arizona OTC Archery Deer season, January 2nd. New Year had crested. New Year came and went, crested into the new year.
Right.
And went out. Did I go out New Year's Day?
I don't think you did.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Man, yeah, I can't remember now. Anyways, so I went out January 2nd.
Just by yourself?
Yeah. I hunted mostly solo the entire season.
Okay.
There was one day where I took 2 other people out with me. Other than that, completely solo the entire time. And January 2nd went out, got in that morning, I'm hiking in by headlamp,
Yep.
sun up, I'm in spot, walking around, just waiting to see what pops up. And trying to think. I had walked into this specific area where there's always deer in this valley.
Okay.
And I remember seeing a couple does walking around. And I was like, okay. It's like, and it would, we're in January, right? We've already talked about this. Like, I know there's does, there's probably a buck of, reasonable caliber in this area, especially coming in January. So I kind of went over to this area. I kind of made it a habit to just drop my pack.
Okay.
I find it
When trying to make a stock or just in general?
just once I see deer, I find a good spot to drop my pack and mark it on Onyx.
Okay.
And just kind of get ready in general.
Okay.
Just like a loosely, there might be a buck over there and, probably 150 to 100 yard range. When I'm in that range to deer, my pack's coming off.
Drop pack.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I just don't know what I'm going to have to do at that point. And I don't want to be carrying weight on my back if I don't have to.
To try and make a nice, easy stock, right? Well, not easy stock, but a
dude,
quiet stock.
A stock's with a pack or without a pack is way different than a stock with a pack. It's just balance wise, because there's a lot of rocks in there and there's all sorts of stuff, and it's just I'm quieter.
You
without
real hunter or what, bro? Come on.
I know, yeah. On occasion, I'll take my socks off, but there's a buttload of cactus in here, bro. That hurts when you do it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a buck that I really want if I'm taking my shoes off.
And
So
rocks and all that, man. Yeah, it's tough.
yeah, I don't care about the rocks so much, but those cactus, man, they get you. And you know what's funny is I had talked to a buddy. It's never the stalk there that I feel the cactus. It's the walk back.
Yeah.
That's what I feel all the damn cactus after that. I'm like, oh crap! I didn't feel this on the way there because you're anticipating the shot and the everything. So I see these does, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure there's a buck. So I walked over there. I went down a little drainage, and it's basically like this mini island plateau between 2 drainages.
Okay.
And I stalked over, did very well. Again, this is post that other perfect stalk that I had talked about earlier.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, do the same thing. Take your time. Right. Don't rush it. Don't do anything stupid. Take your time. So I get over there, and what sucks is I had to go uphill, and I hate going uphill on a stalk because that's when you make noise, right? You're putting body weight on some loose scree or other stuff. And
I always think going downhill is tougher because slipping or sliding or whatever. And
I slip and slide going up.
I like climbing.
Hey, this is all that wash bedrock. So it's like it's sandy, it's loose, it's just that stuff that makes noise. And it's like crap, I got to go up that. So I go up and I get onto this little island plateau, and I'm like, man, like I'm in them. I know they're here somewhere. And I had only seen
it's that gut instinct again, remember?
It was. Yeah. And I had only seen 2 or 3 does.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, there was like 8 or 9 and a buck. And I just couldn't see them because they were in the other drainage on the other side. So I'm creeping across this plateau, and then I start seeing more deer pour out. of this other
Little
drainage.
other drainage,
Yeah. And I'm like, oh crap, there's a lot more here than I thought there was.
So sit back and hang out, right?
And then finally I see these antlers crest. And at first I was I'll just be honest. At first I was kind of disappointed because it was a very, very, very large fork, which is genetics that are in this area.
Okay.
And I had really been wanting a good, quintessential 4x4. But then I was like, why are you disappointed? Like, other than the antler size, if you're not hung up on the antler size, like what's the age of the deer?
Right.
You look at the deer, you see some gray on them. You see a little bit of a gut. You're like, okay, like I'm starting to size this animal up and I'm like, this deer's old. Like he's, I'm guessing 4, 5, 6, in that age range.
Okay.
I did have him aged and he's between 5 and 6 years old, which is good. That's an old buck, and he just had weird genetics that he was never
happened.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
And, so I start creeping over this direction and I'm like, okay, I can tell he's kind of feeding in my general direction. And he's doing that very relaxed meandering, grabbing. All these bushes have like these little flowers. And I've learned to really watch the deer when they're feeding. What are they eating? What bushes are they eating? Like all this stuff. And that's something I kind of picked up probably over the last season or so. And so I was like,
it's something that I always wanted to do when you were like, oh, let's go.
Yeah. I wish I had listened sooner to that.
Bro.
So I started paying attention to that and I was like, okay, they like these little bushes that have really green leaves with tall stems. And then there's little flowers on each of these stems. And they like to pick those flowers off. And they'll sit there on this bush for a while and pick 20, 30 of these flowers off these stems and just be happy.
Right.
And so sure enough, he was moving my direction. I got to 40 yards and this buck is pretty hard quartered to me.
Okay.
And he had kind of taken a few steps to where it was like his face was behind a bush. And I was like, this is an opportunity to draw, right? He can't see me, so he's not going to see that motion. His does are still down in the drainage behind him. So I've got the perfect play to where he's on my side and his does are behind him. So all the eyes are over there.
Right.
This is great. This is what we want. And so I draw and in this area, there are hikers.
Okay.
And I hear, man, I don't even know how to describe it. 2 young girls.
Oh my gosh, Bambi.
Two young bimbos go, oh my gosh, look at that huge buck. Or that huge deer. They didn't say buck. They said huge deer. They said, oh my God, look at that huge deer. And because he's standing up like, yeah. And then when they said that, he stood up like fully, because he was kind of like relaxed or whatever, but then he heard them say that and he kind of stood, I don't know how to say it, more erect. He stood more erect. All right. And he did. He stood, like it kind of got his attention.
Okay.
And he looked at them, fortunately. But then when they said that, I was like, okay, now's like draw.
Now's the time.
And that's when I finished my draw cycle. Because during this whole process that I'm describing, I'm kind of already getting my bow up and ready. And then as I say that, I'm like, oh crap. And so then I draw. And then when I draw, he turns his head and looks at me. And he had fortunately moved a little bit more. He was no longer like hard quartered to me.
Okay.
Like I talked about previously, I kind of range a few objects. So over the course of describing this whole thing, I've probably taken another 2 or 3 steps. So the objects that I had previously ranged had changed a little bit. All right. We're talking a 3 to 6 yard difference from what I had previously ranged. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, he was at 40. And I was like, I didn't move that much. So I'll still hold 40.
Let's just do 40.
Yeah.
Screw it.
So I hear these girls say that, and I'm like, crap, he's going to move because now he knows humans are present.
Right.
And they're not super skittish of humans because they're kind of, they're there.
A little accustomed to it.
Yeah, but they're going to meander off. And so I shoot, and I'm way low, right between his legs.
Like, you're low.
Pathetically. No, I'm sorry. That was the other buck. This one went over his back.
Okay.
This one ran right over his back, probably 5 inches over his back.
Okay.
And I was like, that was the hardest I had ever been on myself of a shot.
Yeah.
40 yards,
Right.
sub 40 yards probably. And I'm like, you freaking idiot. Like that was a chip shot. I'm like, you dumbass. Like,
Oh yeah, 40 yards. Oh yeah, this goes back to the earlier in the segment where we were talking about the Heartland bow hunter guy.
oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh.
it's a little too far. 40
Uh-huh.
yards.
Yeah. So like I said, yeah, there I am eating my words, saying, 40 yards is too much. Well, guess what? I missed a 40 yard
missed
shot.
it, dude.
Yeah. And rightfully so. Eat that humble pie.
There you go.
I'm all about that.
Put a little whipped cream on that
Check
sucker.
that ego.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes people need that, man.
100%. Yeah. I think we all need that. Otherwise, we would just think we're the greatest thing.
You're the hottest thing on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about
Dude,
it.
there's something way bigger and better around the corner, man.
If I'm ever in my own head thinking I'm better than everybody else or better than just whatever,
Right.
that's needed. Yeah. So that buck ran off and he carried his does with him. But like I said earlier too, I noticed his does didn't spook that bad.
Okay.
They ran maybe like 100, 150 yards and then just kind of meandered.
Okay.
All right. So they boogered out of there. And then after that 100 and 150 yard trot, they were like,
Whatever.
yeah. And so I was like, huh. I was like, okay.
Like I
So-
can get back in this again.
Yeah. I backed out, went the exact same way that I came.
Okay.
And I went and just laid on my pack. So I'll use my pack as like a seat
Rest,
or
yeah.
rest or whatever. And it was under a tree where there was grass. And so I just busted out a quick little snack and I sat there and had this buck in my binoculars. And actually I've posted footage. So if you see footage of this buck walking around chasing does, that was that moment where I was just like, I'm going to give him some time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going anywhere really. They're going to kind of go in that general direction and they'll kind of chill out a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to give him time and I'm going to get a second play on him. So I think that was roughly around 3:00, 3:30.
Okay.
Maybe. I walked up a couple miles, kind of crescenting him a little bit, like just kind of staying away
Skirting,
from his,
yeah.
skirting him, just making sure I gave him some room and stuff because I knew they were in this like wash further up in this valley, just chilling.
Okay.
They like to bed there and stuff. So came back. I think it was roughly about 5:00.
Okay.
5:30, and working my way back to where I had initially met him.
Right.
But I got about halfway to that location on the way back,
Okay.
and I see about 7 does, and I think I counted 9 the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I counted 7 does.
So did another buck come in or what?
I don't know. I counted 7 does, and I was like,
We'll see what happens.
I'm watching them and I'm like, and there's a couple that sometimes you'll just see certain deer and you're like, that's a deer that I saw earlier.
Yeah.
Sure enough, like these are the does that I saw earlier.
Okay.
And they were coming out of that valley, same spot I had just walked through earlier that day. And there they are. And I'm like, where is he? So I start stalking up and they were already kind of up above me a little bit.
Oh, wow.
By
Okay.
20 or 30 yards. Not much, but a little bit. And so I kind of circumference them a little bit and I start walking with them. And they were very like, I don't want to say tame, but like I was 50 yards from them the entire time and they didn't care
Yeah.
at all. But I've learned like certain body gestures will really freak deer out. Like if you stoop, like if you squat and try and make your body profile small, I think that's like a predator body language to them. So like think about it, like a mountain lion gets real small and like stoops down, right? And like hunches down before it pounces and attacks. Whereas like if I just stand there and I just stand still, and the other thing too is like I don't really make eye contact directly. I'll look at a rock, but I can still see them very much in my peripheral, and I don't make direct eye contact and they've been very calm. So as long as I don't do these predator style things, I think they seem to be a little bit more calmer because they let me hang out with them for like 10 minutes at 50 yards and they didn't care. They just kind of fed and meandered and did their own thing. So,
Well, that's like the whole point of a ghillie suit, right? Is to break up your silhouette,
right.
right?
Yep.
So you don't have that whole like shoulders with your head and your neck look, you know, to kind of like morph it all into one big structure,
Exactly.
or to like hide the V frame of your legs and all that. Like that's the whole point of it.
So, yeah, after just chilling there and kind of analyzing those does, I was like, all right, well, the buck isn't immediately with them, obviously. They were kind of moving further up above me. And I was like, all right. I was like, there's still 2 more does that are unaccounted for. That buck is probably with them. And I had seen that he was visibly, on the video, I have him pushing a doe, like hard.
Right.
You could tell one of them was in heat. And so I was like, all right, well, those 2 are still around here somewhere. So I kind of backtracked a little bit by 60 yards.
Okay.
Sure enough, right below me, there's 2 does. I was like, all right. And then I see him do that quintessential, like, turns his head and looks right at me, and you just see that rack turn first, right?
Twist, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh. and
this is that same buck you missed earlier, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Same buck. He's a fork, but he's really tall on one side. Like,
Okay.
really tall. And then he's got a kind of a real wonky, like, side. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard that's in
Strong side.
Yeah, he's like, this is my good hand, Chad. If you guys have seen Scary Movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I've heard that's indicative of like an injury that they occurred at some point. I don't know if that's true or not, but he just had a real like wonky side. I don't know. It's very weird. But the other side is super tall, really nice. And so, yeah, there he was. And I ranged him real quick. To counter what I just said, I did stoop down and I dropped my pack real quick and just to get it off. And I was like, get it off. I want to make a very comfortable shot without weight on my back.
Okay.
I ranged him. I think it was like 61. It was between 61 and 63.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, yeah, I feel totally comfortable with that. Did my draw cycle, and it was a little bit downhill. So did my draw cycle. Fortunately, I remembered, check your cam and your strings. And he was feeding on a bush. He did look at me, and then he went back to eating on this bush and nibbling. I was like, I need like 2 steps out of him. And then his torso was cleared of this bush because he was behind it. During this whole thing, while I was dropping my pack, by the way, he was pushing a doe. He had his nose in this doe's butt and was pushing her. Then went to eating this bush, and that's when I was like, okay, this is my time to stand up and draw.
Okay.
So he's eating this bush. I stand up and draw. He takes 2 more steps, and I'm like, cool. Now I have fully broadside shot. Perfect. Like every hunter asks for that.
Right.
The quintessential shot. And so, I put my pin on it, shot, and it was weird. Felt very good about the shot. Usually when you make a really good shot, you can tell. For some reason, in that split second, I wasn't even sure if I hit him. And I was like, that shot felt money. I was like, what the heck? And I saw him turn. I saw him book. And then so I pulled my glass up real quick and glassed him, and I just saw him pumping. And I was like, oh, sweet. Like, awesome. And so that's when I posted that picture. It's on my Instagram. If you look at it, like there's a bush just splattered. And I was like, dope. Right. That's what you want to see, right?
They're like, yeah, this is it.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, cool. So I walked down. I'm sorry. I gave it at least 30 minutes.
Okay.
That's always just a rule. Like, especially if you see him pumping like that, you know, okay, well, yeah, we can do 30 minutes. You know, if it's a questionable shot and you see where you hit him and it's far back or something, 45 to an hour before you go find your arrow. But yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give it about 30 minutes or so and then go find my arrow. You know, it was only 60 yards below me, so I wasn't going to bump him or anything. I watched him run farther than that off. He basically went across this little valley, up and over a very small roller, and then just disappeared. And I was like, he's probably down over that roller. So I went down, text a couple buddies, you included, hit a buck, you know.
Right.
I think I sent a picture of my arrow too, or whatever.
Okay. I remember something
like that.
Yeah.
And then sent a picture of the bush with the blood splattered all over it.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, he's done.
Yeah. It was just
I remember that.
Dude,
yeah.
it looked like somebody painted the desert red, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and then went over to the because I was at work, and I showed the old man, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's done."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Heck yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, it's been 30, 45 minutes. I'm going to start blood trailing a little bit and just go real slow. So I'm tracking. I'm like, oh man, like someone just looks like someone had a 5-gallon bucket of blood and just spraying it. And I'm like,
Right.
cool. Like this thing's done somewhere. So I'm like 100 yards out. I'm like 150. And I have a video of all of this. I'm like, dude, this thing's got to be dead right up here.
Right.
I'm like 200 yards. And I'm like 250. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like,
Right.
why am I not finding a deer? And I'm like, first off, why am I not finding a deer? Second of all, like, how is this thing still living?
Right.
So yeah, he ended up, I spotted him. He was still on his feet. I was actually on the phone with somebody. And I was like, man, how is this deer not dead? He's like, oh, he's got to be right up there. Like, don't worry about it, man. Just take your time, keep tracking, go slow. And I was like, I see him standing. I got to go, boom, like hung up on this guy. And I had him at like 75 yards and he was still on his feet. You could tell he's definitely hurt. Obviously it was mortal, no doubt about that. But I was like, how is this thing still walking around? And he was. And I glass him up. I can see where my entry. And I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Right.
Okay. I'm just puzzled. So to make a really long story short, that was at like, let's say 5:30 or so when I shot him. I think it was 2 bumps later and 9:30 after dark, I'm finally walking up on my buck. And like I said, to make a really long story short, I don't know what happened, man. The entry was money. Like,
So did you ever find out where it hit?
it went right in on the shoulder, like on the
Okay.
shoulder. Where it came out was the like lower base of his neck. So somehow, I don't know if, and maybe people can help explain this to me, because dude, I'm looking at this deer going, I am absolutely puzzled.
Yeah. So
somehow.
you probably missed the lung, or maybe nicked it.
I
Bit.
got lungs. 100% got lungs, because his lungs and his whole front chest cavity was that when I punctured that upper diaphragm, dude, it spilled blood everywhere.
Well,
so
that's
he
what
was
you
bleeding
hit.
internally.
You hit the diaphragm.
But what happened and came out? No, because the diaphragm's further back. 'Cause it's what separates the lungs from the guts.
Or you hit the cavity. You just hit the cavity.
I cut his lungs on the front. And so what happened was like his lungs and the cavity were bleeding into his cavity. However, what I was finding all over the place was when it went in, it must have deflected forward. And I'm assuming also because he turned away from me when I shot him, it came out that lower base of his neck on the opposite side. And so I cut his jugular. And that's what I'm seeing sprayed everywhere, I'm assuming, all over. Because, dude, it literally just looked like somebody dumped red blood everywhere. So I don't know if my arrow deflected, and obviously it deflected and went up, or it was part of his turn or something like that. I don't know, but it turned into a little bit of a trek for sure.
I've seen the jugular shot, and that's a massacre.
Yeah, you shot your oryx right in the jugular. That's exactly what it looked like. When you
dude.
showed me the video of that blood trail, that's exactly what mine looked like. And that's why I'm sitting here going, how the heck is this thing still alive?
That thing didn't go 120 yards.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know.
From an ethics standpoint, like I still stand by my shot. I feel really good about it. Like I cut lungs. I hit everything vital that I needed to. Just something wonky internally happened when he either turned or the arrow bounced. I don't know if the arrow, maybe I hit the shoulder and maybe I hit a more solid bone and it deflected up and went out or something. I don't know, but it was very strange. And, ultimately he ended up dying and I got him. So I remember walking up on him and I had called 2 buddies. Shout out to Nathan and Cole for coming out on a dime. And being like, yeah, man, where are you at? And I told them where they're at. And they're like, cool, I'll be there in like 30 to 40. And
Wasn't it Cole? Later on, he was like, yeah. He's like, I didn't know I was going this far. Something like that.
yeah, so poor Cole.
Poor Cole.
Poor Cole. Was already a few beers deep. Was chilling at home. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, I'll be out there,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was his first pack out ever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That's a heck of a first pack out.
Yeah, and we're like this all said and done after this pack out. So the buck ended up being like a little over 200 pounds. Like he was a good bodied buck.
Right.
And I remember Cole telling me on the way out that it was his first pack out. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Because I think that day we ended up doing a little short of like 13 miles round trip. And they came every bit of it because they had to come all the way in.
So did you guys do 2 trips or just one?
One trip.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Fortunately, everybody had a good,
Good pack.
pack full, on the
Yeah.
way out. And I got to do the honorary carry the head and all that stuff. And there's some cool pictures of me carrying the head out. But yeah, that was cool. That was one of those moments too where they showed up and I hear when they fire.
Oh, yeah. They brought some beer.
yeah. I was like, dude.
With Cole, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
oh yeah. If you know Cole, he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Nathan
I wouldn't
too.
expect nothing
Nathan
else.
likes his IPAs and
Yeah. Yeah. But the dude,
That was
great
cool, man.
dudes. Great guys.
Yeah, good guys, solid guys. That just those guys that you can always count on. And
Yep.
they came out there and we had a few brews and some music under the stars and
Yep.
beautiful night sky, and got to share that camaraderie together, which was really cool.
Nothing like being arm deep in a cavity of a deer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I got to walk out knowing that I had held out for a mature buck. And
Yeah.
it wasn't the 4x4, but that's just antlers. At least I, age bracket wise, I stuck with it. So
Yeah.
passed on those and kind of, I don't know. I want that maturity as a hunter. So
Oh, yeah.
that was cool, man. So
that was a little bit of a low and a high there, too.
it was,
Because
yeah.
you're like, well, this thing's not dead. What the heck's going on? And then
I remember texting you and I was like, dude, I'm not backing out. Like I'm not giving
I remember
up.
that.
Because I had somebody tell me, they're like, oh, back out, come tomorrow. I was like, not doing it. Nope. Sorry. Like
no, there's mountain lions. There's all kinds of predators in there. So
well, yeah, I ran into a mountain lion that season.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just find it.
I'm just
You'll
not
get
doing it. I'm not giving up on an animal. I did that once and it was a mistake. So
Are you a real hunter or what? That's what it comes down
that's
to.
what
right?
that's what I'm thinking. I'm hearing pops in my head going, you a real hunter or what? I said, hell yeah, I'll stay out here all night if I have to. So,
Oh man.
yeah, that's the harvest story. Happy ending there. Got the
Yeah.
buck, got home, got some cool photos, some brews under the stars.
Good food out of it. Yeah.
Oh, and he tastes great.
Yeah.
He's a good buck. I was worried, man, because after gutting him and stuff, you touch those glands on those legs or
Right.
whatever, and he was like secreting all sorts of oils and stuff. And man, it smelled so bad. Like he smelled like a rutted up buck.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried. I was like, crap, this,
Gonna
you think the meat's going to taste
stain
bad.
your meat,
Yeah. And so, excuse me. And so, no, the meat's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He tasted good.
Yeah.
He's had some of the burgers and steaks and stuff. So
Yeah. Yep.
pretty good. So what did you use to shoot him?
You want to pass me one of those?
All right. Let's go into that.
Yeah, buddy.
There we go.
So, for those that are listening, I'll describe really well what we're doing here. For those that are watching the video podcast,
A little Vanna White.
you'll be able to see. Yeah, come here. So I shoot a VAP TKO. I use the AAE Max fletching, and I get all my stuff done obviously at Arizona Archery Club.
Yo, shout out, dog.
Shout out to Eddie and all the crew there. Y'all are great.
I love that they have your arrow profiles like saved and
Saved.
all that. It's so sick.
I've texted him before
Oh my
because
gosh.
people ask me, "Oh, what arrow weight?" And I'm like, I couldn't remember, and I text Eddie. And I'm like, hey,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm like, hey, what's my arrow weight? And he's like, oh, this. And I was like, sweet, cool. Like they just have it there. So these are, what are these? 350s, 350 spline or whatever. And I shoot a 4 fletch. I'm shooting a mechanical broadhead. What are these called, Jake?
The hides.
The hides. We shoot the Evolution Outdoors, the hides. And
They're so sick.
they are sick. These are the 125 grain.
Yeah, you got the stainless steel 125.
Yes, sir.
We're shooting 100s. 100s, baby.
I think all said and done, am I 425 or 450?
You're probably 450 now.
450.
Because I'm about 420 something.
Okay. So I'm 450 grains using this 125 mechanical broadhead. I really love how these things fly.
Yeah.
So they've got a fixed bleeder.
They've got a cut on contact.
Yep. Cut on contact, fixed head. And then they have two, what do you want to call these?
Sweeping.
I don't want to say retractable because they're sweeping. They're not retractable. Retractable means they go backwards and come out. These are sweeping because they're forward and then they come out as it swipes through.
Bro, they're just mechanical blades, Skilly.
All I'm saying is this kills, all right?
No, they just got these two opening blades that are swept back that are really cool as far as being able to help with penetration because they're swept back.
Yep.
So like some of the other ones like with Rage and with what's that other one that like Levi Morgan's sponsored by?
Sever?
No. They were popular. I don't remember. It uses like a rubber band. And I had some of them too as well. Okay. But anyways,
you passed me that one, that next one.
Yeah. So anyways, those are like straight blades. Yep. And what's cool about these ones is they're swept back, so it helps with momentum going forward when you're cutting it and all that.
Right.
Really, really cool.
So the other thing I like about
local.
Yes, Evolution Outdoors is an Arizona company, which is cool. You know, we're both local business owners, and so anytime I can do anything to support another local Arizona business, like Evolution Outdoors, Arizona Archery Club, Marsupial Gear, who else is here? Arrowhead Rifles, if you're a rifle hunter. I think Timney Triggers is out of Arizona too, aren't they?
Timney Triggers is
Outdoorsman's.
Outdoorsman's.
Any of the Outdoorsman stuff. Wilderness Athlete is part of Outdoorsman's. Right On Optics. Is that a Tucson?
Canyon Coolers.
Canyon Coolers, yeah. I cold plunge in their cooler, aka your cooler. But yeah, all these local companies, it's cool to support something that's out of Arizona. So the other cool thing that I really like about Evolution Outdoors is you get these for the video listeners. I'm sticking it in the camera there.
Oh, dude. AAE is Arizona too.
That's right, AAE.
Yeah, Arizona Archery
They're
Equipment.
out of Prescott, right?
Or Enterprise.
Yeah,
they're out of Prescott.
Yeah. So Evolution Outdoors gives you these practice heads, which are really dope. They're just like the broadhead. So you can throw this sucker on. It's the same weight, same profile and everything, and you shoot it just like your actual broadhead, but you're not dulling your broadhead.
And what were you saying now? You're not even going to shoot field tips, huh?
No, I don't. I don't shoot field tips. No, I don't shoot field tips at all. Why?
What's field tips, huh?
I will for hike to hunt. Because those aren't my targets, and I don't want to screw up somebody else's arrow or somebody else's target. That's not mine to do that to.
Right.
So I'll put field tips on for that. I'll make sure I dial in with my field tips before I go do that challenge.
Okay.
But otherwise, as soon as I'm done with hike to hunt, these are going right back on. I don't see a reason to change if I'm shooting for a hunting scenario. So.
But you also take it into perspective. Steven doesn't do much with like 3D shooting or nothing like that.
No.
He's in it for hunting.
I only do it
He's in it to harvest.
To get some hunting experience, different shot scenarios and stuff like we were talking about. Try and challenge yourself, right? So
right. Your core base is for hunting. It's not about, becoming a better archer or anything like that. It's become a better hunter.
I don't know that I want to. I would say that I don't want to become a better archer.
You will, but what I'm getting at is you're not strictly trying to go just for archery. You're going for
you got the guys that want to go win the
tournament,
the 3D
and
buckles and all that stuff. I don't care about that. That's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the arrow setup that I'm using. Evolution Outdoors does give you that cool little box that they come in. I think it's a 6, right? You get 6 plus a practice broadhead. For the video viewers, Jake's doing a Vanna White on the box that it comes in. I think there's a couple of used ones in there.
Oh yeah.
You'll see different shots in it. Yeah,
dude. You dug in the dirt on that one.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Well, that was a practice tip too.
So that's that one's Texas.
Jeez, son.
Yep.
Well, this one looks like it hit dirt a little bit too. It's got a little chip on the
I think there's one in there with hair on it.
Yeah, this one. Right
yeah, that one was that went through an animal.
There you go. Look at you.
Yeah, dude.
Very nice. No, they're top notch, man. I like them.
Also, to speak to Victory Archery's arrows, man, we've put them through the ringer, and we've had some really good results from their arrow build quality. Very good arrow, very durable.
Shot it in a tree, still worked.
I shot mine into lava rock and missed, and it picked it right up, and it was great. The broadhead had seen better days, but the arrow itself was fine. You want to pass me another one of those articles over there?
Oh.
What do we got over there?
This here, we have the Hogue. The Hogue Hunting Skinning Knife. It's really nice. Now, this one's really cool. We ended up, the first time I seen you actually using this was when we were in Texas. When I actually got to use it too. I like it. So I don't know. I'm still big on my Outdoor Edge one. I like that.
I like trying new things. I like if I see something new on the market and they're like, hey, we've innovated and changed some stuff, I'm the guy that's kind of like, cool.
Yeah.
Let me give it a run or two in the field and see what happens.
If you're a scalpel knife person, this is like the cat's pajamas, the best thing you can get, dude.
Cat's pajamas.
Yeah, the bee's knees.
You know how many like the cat's phrase? I've heard so many different versions of that. I had a boss. I mean, I don't personally care, but I felt like it was an awkward thing to say in a workplace. But she was like, "You're the cat's ass," and I was like,
"Yeah, the cat's ass."
What? From a manager, I was like, "That's a weird thing to say."
Hey.
Or the cat's meow is what I always thought it was. So that's why when I heard that, I was like, "Huh." But yeah.
Never heard cat's pajamas?
Cat's pajamas. That's another one. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
pajamas is weird.
Learn something new every day, buddy.
So everyone is super used to the Havalon, right? The Havalon's like the market, the market.
If you're into the scalpel knives,
the favorite child of the market or whatever. Hogue, well, to talk about using Havalons, I can't tell you how many times I've been elbow deep in an animal with a Havalon trying to cut stuff away, and some stupid piece of skin or meat or something hangs up on that blade and rips that blade right off that Havalon housing. I've had it happen many times.
So what he's getting at is the blade, when you hook it in to the Havalon knife,
right?
All it is you push it forward and then you hook it back, you pull it back, and then it hooks it into like a little notch.
Exactly.
And that's what secures it.
Yep.
Well, now Hogue came out with something really cool.
Yep. So Hogue, they don't have a foldable system like Havalon does. Well, actually, now they do. They came out with a foldable one like Havalon.
Okay, cool.
But this one that I have specifically is more of a fixed blade, but it has a housing that goes over the scalpel blade, so it locks it into place, and that blade cannot come off, which I really liked. I used this on my dad's elk. I used this on my mule deer. I used this on several deer in Texas.
We used it on like at least 6 deer in Texas.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan. They do also have a fixed blade, which is very similar.
That's
to
the
like
one I would probably rather get.
Okay.
To be honest, but
it's very similar to like the MKC knives that they're putting out. Pretty much identical. Everyone's kind of got those blades out right now, and that knife is phenomenal. Very, very, very sharp.
That's the one I'd probably rather be interested in. I'm just not a big scalpel knife guy. I don't know. Right. I like the Outdoor Edge. They're kind of like a in between of a big full size knife and a scalpel, and they're replaceable.
Yep.
They lock in place, so I like them.
Heck yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. What else we got there? Oh yeah, just releases. Man, I've been a fan of this release for a long time. If you're going to shoot a index release, I have been using the Wise Guy, the Spot Hog Wise Guy, and I've honestly just never really looked back.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a great release. It sits very well on my wrists. The one thing I think I like about it the most is just the lightness of the trigger.
Right.
Like you touch that thing and it's going. So I want something that, again, you kind of want a little bit of the element of surprise for a shot. So just being able to just barely touch that thing and it goes off.
Right.
Has been a big pro in my arsenal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so some cool gear we've ended up getting. Switched over to before we were both running afflictors. Afflictors are still great broadheads.
yeah, I've got some over here still.
I still got them as backups too as well. But these hides are sick from
Pretty
Evolution.
sweet.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, we'd like to also hear what else you guys are using. What works for you guys as well, and share it with us.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah.
Of course, for packs, we're running marsupial gear packs.
Yeah, for binos.
For bino harnesses, sorry. For packs, we're running Stone Glacier.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. You switched to Bowtech. I'm shooting Matthews.
Yeah.
You wear Crispies?
I'm wearing Crispies now, yeah.
Or Hoffman?
I'm never going to look back.
Okay. You wear Crispies, I wear Hoffman. We both agree on Scree gear as our go-to camo. They've got some new pieces out too, which I think we'll cover. I was going to do like what's my elk hunting kit that I'm taking for camo and stuff. So I'll cover some of those new pieces that they came out with recently, because they've got like an in-between pant that's kind of in between the Uinta and the hardscrabble. It's like the perfect, like a happy
I know
medium.
what you're talking about. But when you said Uinta, I thought you were like in between winter. like winter, but winter
with an accent. Yeah,
I was like, huh? What?
Yeah, no.
I was like, oh wait, I know.
Yeah, it's UINTA. No.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, what we're hoping you guys get out of this is really the importance of knowing your maximum range that you're comfortable with. Getting out there and shooting, then becoming more self-developed, whether it's, going out and doing 2-mile runs, challenging yourself, Sober October, whatever, something that is going to be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
So that way you can take that out in the field and ultimately help improve the chances of a successful harvest.
Yeah, absolutely. Just elevating yourself as a general person and a hunter. Yeah, and doing everything you can to kind of push yourself to become better. And all about that growth.
I'd be curious if there's some other things that people do, and I'd be I would love to try and see what they are and try them out.
Share them with us, because there's always something that somebody else might be doing that, I could take a little tidbit of what they're doing and
try it out,
add it, and vice versa. Hopefully this gives you guys some tidbits that you can walk away from. And you don't have to do it exactly like we're doing, but, there's little pieces that you grab from everything and kind of build your own,
everybody's different
program. So. So heck yeah, man.
Well, sweet, man.
Let's go get some pizza. I'm hungry. And some honey hot wings and, go Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, there we go. Well, thank you guys very much. We always appreciate you.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for listening to this second episode of this 2-part.
Yeah, we appreciate your guys' time. Thank you for listening, man. That means a lot to us.
It really does. We can't express that enough. So, we're just 2 guys, man. So reach out to us. We'd be glad to answer questions. If you ever see us, say what's up. You know, I'm always excited to see other people. And
dude, that's the best.
So it's fun, man. So
I had a teacher. I chaperoned my daughter's field trip the other day, and she came up and she's like, "My husband follows you." And I was like, "Well, what's his name and what's his username? Because those are 2 different things." Someone will come introduce themselves to me, and they're like, "Hey, I'm Jeff," and I'm like, and they're like, "I follow you on Instagram." I'm like,
He's like, "Yeah, I'm Bow Killer 6000.
I'm Deer Snipers 24/7." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are." Okay. No, it's cool, man. It's awesome, the community that we have, because at the end of the day, like, I know we'd all grind it out together. We'd have a pack out together. We'd have a beer together. Like, we enjoy wild game. We all have similar interests. So
pretty much.
Cool.
So
heck yeah.
Well, sweet guys. Thank you. And we got some more in the works, man.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Let's do it. See you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and smash those 5 stars on iTunes or Spotify, and leave a little review at the bottom. It'll really help us out. For our short films, go subscribe over on YouTube. Just search Bowhunting AZ. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bowhunting AZ. Good luck to everyone this season. Thank you again for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.